This was a video I didn't know if I wanted to make. One that I didn't really know much about, mainly because of a lack of first-person experience. But maybe that's going to make it more interesting to this video. So let's talk about college, from the perspective of someone who's never gone and is never going. Because that's the kind of content you need to make on YouTube. Critical video essays about things you know nothing about. First of all, I guess I should use the proper term, university, since every school ever wants to be known as something U. PragerU, NYU, UNC, Control FU. What is it with the term university that has people so obsessed with the title? I mean, what even is the difference? College versus university? Well, colleges are usually smaller and only for undergraduates, while the big universities have a bunch of stuff for after graduation. Oh, so college is just for scrubs? It's not like it's always going to be super expensive regardless of the quality of education. I mean, there are probably universities in Alabama. That doesn't mean it's smart just because it's expensive. Well, Alabama expensive. What's the conceivable value of going to a university over a college? All you're doing is spending more money to go to even more years of a class that will give you a degree that will serve as an overpriced coaster. Maybe you would be better off going to a multiversity. If there's uni, then logically we must get a multi. If there's a multi, then maybe it's two different schools locked onto each other and thrown in a blender. Here, you got two schools existing in the same place at the same time. That's what they meant by school desegregation, right? No? What does it mean? Wait, they used to do what? There are a great many universities, but I think they should start investing in microversities. Tiny little individual school buildings that can herd all of the deluded drama students into one little warehouse. Throw all of the math geeks into a porta potty, and who knows, maybe the sports teams could find locker rooms in the local KFC. Where did the name come from? Was there ever a Universe City? I imagine a city simply named Universe City would brag about high-quality living, and culture, and a bunch of celebrities living there, only to end up broke as a billionaire and selling real estate to Disney to make their backwater cheap amusement park Disney Place. Oh, would you look at that? It's just Los Angeles. Other routes you can take in the wild west of college, you could join the military, which is obviously a positive idea with no downsides whatsoever, and definitely not oversold by state-sanctioned propaganda. I mean, college students, the military, it's a match made in heaven. They have so much in common. Underage drinking, authority figures who have no idea what they're doing, and overwhelming, crippling debt. But something I am legitimately confused about is, what was the time management between military and college? Do they have to alternate during the days? Imagine going to class with some people in army fatigues who are busy throwing grenades for practice while you're learning the quadratic equation. It wouldn't be a surprise to see some military frats pop up after this, and frats are already annoying enough. Try giving them AK-47s and diplomatic immunity. Usually the soldiers are the ones who receive PTSD. Jesus. But to be fair, I can't imagine a better reason to miss class. Instead of saying you were sick, just say you were participating in the conflict in the Gaza Strip. Sorry, resolving the conflict in the Gaza Strip. But as excuses go, I'm fairly certain the dogs of war will really eat your homework. So make sure to douse your chemistry in forest camo. And after switching between the two worlds so much, you better not get them confused. Sure, it may be assumed the worst case scenario would be thinking you're in war where you're actually in school, but imagine accidentally thinking you're in a football game when in fact you're out in the Vietnam War, chucking pigskins and running around, only to end up in your own war crime fumes. All that risk, all that war, just so you could pay less money to go to drama school. You better make all those crimes against humanity worth it, so think about that pressure next time you do Fiddler on the Roof. And before I continue trashing on people's choice of majors, I should ask, with legitimate honesty, what the hell is a liberal arts degree? What is it? We always use it as a go-to reference for wasted value, which makes you question why people still do it. And what have liberal arts degrees ever done to get that reputation? I think pretty much any degree from Yale other than conservative talk show host bragging about going to Yale degree is quite worthless. Like, literally, what? It's apparently an umbrella term for studies centered around psychology, anthropology, art, and debate, which, to be fair, sounds awesome and completely in my cup of tea. But since it's more fun to make fun of stuff, wow, how dumb, who would ever want to do that? Nah, dumb liberal arts. All the cool kids go to conservative arts. You know, things like theater of lowering taxes, geometry of states' rights, and ignoring all of those other things in favor of going to your QAnon class. I can't help but think about politics when I hear the word liberal. I'm sorry, it's just funny to me to hear the phrase liberal arts. What's the picture that's supposed to give? Bernie Sanders painting you like a French girl? And maybe then we can get a project with the Green New Deal as a DIY. Just pull up your Home Depot green energy and sprinkle in a little mega-rich taxes from the pantry and stir until the Medicare is adequately socialized. And you'll be rewarded with a little piece of paper from Blue Dot University, completely useless as a certificate of job capability, but you can use it as a $5 redeemable coupon at your local Starbucks. See, that's my main problem with most colleges. They're touted as these institutions necessary for getting you a job and needed to progress in life. But tons of famous people never went to college, and a bunch of people who did ended up with nothing but debt. With how extreme the debt is, I'm surprised that we haven't heard stories about the banks sending tax-collecting mercenaries. If student loans are such an important thing that they loom over you for the rest of your life, you can expect the banks to go all out to get what's theirs. And they'll obviously use that money well, and will not at all waste it by basically throwing it in a literal pit, or wasting it on a CEO bonus for excellent service, which is code for I like myself, so I give me money. They might as well be burning the money. No one can honestly believe that the money that gets given back to pay off student loans actually goes somewhere useful. What would be ruined if we just ignored all student loans? Just like all of us at the same time. How could they stop us? Who would stop us? Who gets that money? Is it really just CEOs grabbing... Oh, I misspelled the word pennies in my script, and it was just pennis, and I was very confused. Is it just CEOs grabbing pennies that they'll never use? All this for an economics class that teaches you exactly how stupid this is? How are you going to learn about the dumb arsness here, and still proceed to contribute to it? Ugh, I hate this stuff. Do banks seriously expect to get it back? Millions of people have no way to access the money needed to pay it back. Even declaring bankruptcy doesn't get rid of your student debt. The only way to do it is to die. So that's fun. Do you reckon banks have their own vault just to put student loan money into, just so they can look at it and laugh, never taking any of it out, just taking more to laugh at us? As you can tell, I'm a little anti-establishment. Which you would expect would go well with colleges. I mean, look at frats and sororities. Nothing if not perfect examples of why democracy is very good yet very flawed. Because I don't know how many educated decisions a dude named Chuck who just did a keg stand would be able to make. For such loosely sober children, it's an oddly sophisticated choice to go with Greek letters as the title of your house. Although it would be funny to trick some people into choosing fake Greek letters. Welcome, we are Alpha Kappa Ligma. Welcome to the party. What else is pointless is the gendering. By the age of college, do we really need to perpetuate the cooties idea? And what do we think is going to happen with co-eds that doesn't already happen all the time at college? That's right. They'll still play ping pong together. What were you thinking? Get your mind out of the gutter. The parties of these houses are really the main selling point. Why bother participating in a frat or a sorort if it's not gonna be during a party? What do they even do? Do they actually hang out and work on school? Or do they just focus on the next party like they probably should? And the fact that these houses exist in the first place is crazy. Like, who thought for a second, you know what this collective group of newly alcohol-drinking, hormonal, traumatized by high school teenagers needs? To be grouped together in a giant house at all times. Let's be honest. College is little more than a social experiment to see how much we mess up the minds of people around the age of 20. We just find a certain entertainment in the insane chaos of alcohol, homework, and self-insecurity at the oncoming responsibility of adulthood. And to anyone who's planning to go to college, have fun.